It's football! Okay, so I'm really fucking happy that today I can watch a meaningful football game. I am stoked. I am excited. I've already made my picks. I uploaded them, like fucking Sunday or some shit. What I am expecting to do is probably by every Tuesday try to make a video saying this is what actually happened in this week's slate of games. This is how right or wrong I was throughout the week. And then probably the next day on Wednesday these are my picks. These are my picks for week 2. And just kind of whatever storylines I feel like are really developing, like for a particular game, for a particular team. Like when the fucking Broncos-Jets game, I'm like, okay, this is the storyline for this game. Like people have been talking shit in the offseason. And it's like both teams probably want to really come out and dominate. But that's not until week 5. I guess there are 2 games in particular I should highlight though, is number 1, the Steelers-Niners game, because Nick Bosa did just get paid. I didn't see the actual numbers, I think it was 5 years. I didn't quite see, I want to say it was like 80 million. I could be wrong about that. But he got paid, so he's going to be suiting up for that game. I picked Pittsburgh to win, partly because I wasn't sure about Bosa's status, partly because I just have a feeling it's going to be one of those really weird Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh games where both teams just kind of play like voodoo dog shit for 60 minutes and Pittsburgh somehow wins. Even with Bosa playing, I still think that's going to happen. It's just gonna be weird. The other thing to highlight is tonight's game, Chiefs-Lions, because Kelsey is not playing. Or I don't know if he's not playing, but he's questionable because he hyperextended his knee. I'm still gonna... And then like Chris Jones also isn't suiting up for the Chiefs. So I'll say this. I know my original prediction is I think the Chiefs win by 3 touchdowns because I feel like in the fourth quarter, like I said, they're up 7. Lions go for it on 4th down. Don't convert. Chiefs score a touchdown. Lions have to now go for it again. Chiefs score another touchdown. So a game that was really close for 3, maybe even 3.5 quarters looks like a blowout by the end. That could still very well happen. I don't know I'm still picking the Chiefs. But, if Kelsey's really not playing, the Lions could definitely win. But I'm still going to roll with my Kansas City pick. And while I'm on the subject of football, this is... the fucking Jonathan Gannon video is weird, man. Now, it's very clearly edited. This is not just, one comment... I'm sorry. My brain was saying multiple things at once and also nothing at the same time. Let me try and get my thoughts on that straight. There is a video of Jonathan Gannon, head coach for the Arizona Cardinals, of him giving a speech and trying to motivate the team. Where he's like, hey, show of hands, who took the bus to work today? Okay, who drove to work today? Did you have fire in your gut? Then says some shit about the people I want, I want fucking killers on my team. And then as he's talking, it's cutting to clips of the players just looking so out of it. Probably how I looked 10 seconds ago. Just head empty, what the fuck is this man talking about? It's funny. It's very goofy. To me, the funniest part about it is, this is very clearly edited. Someone is splicing together parts of the conversation and parts of the audience and their lack of reaction. It feels like a video that is solely there to make fun of this dude. But it's his own team that made it. You would think the Cardinals would want to make it yeah, we're going to take the best parts of his conversation. We're going to show parts of the players nodding, raising their hands, looking super hyped, looking super invested. But instead, the team's here's what we're going to do. We're going to make our coach look like a buffoon, and we're going to make the players look like they'd rather be anywhere than Arizona. Is it any wonder why Caleb Williams it was kind of like, I might stay in school depending on what happens this year? Is it any wonder why his dad said, hey, my son might just stay in school another year depending on who gets the #1 pick? The fact that Cliff Kingsbury, the former coach of the Arizona Cardinals, is working at USC and is working with Caleb Williams, I can imagine him being like, nah, dude, like, if they get the #1 pick, don't go to Arizona. Like, it's like, trust me, I was the head coach. I know what it's like. Don't go to Arizona. Look, like they're throwing their own coach under the bus. Like, what the fuck is this? Now, of course, I've never met Rich Gannon. For all I know, he could be a phenomenal head coach. Like, I remember a couple years ago, Nick Sirianni's first press conference was an absolute mess. Like, he, again, like, kind of looked like a buffoon. And then he had the Eagles in the playoffs that year. And then the next year, they damn near won the Super Bowl. This year, they fucking might just fuck around and win the whole thing. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, it could just be a weird first impression. It could be like, for all I know, the Cardinals really love their coach. They really believe in their coach with the organization and the players, and they just wanted to kind of poke some fun at him. Like, yeah, we're going to have a good time at his expense, but it's made out of love, not actually like out of jest. Like, so we'll see how it goes, but it was a really weird thing to watch, especially knowing that it was the team that made that video. Huh. But that's really what I wanted to say about football. But talking about some of the other shit that... Oh, excuse me, fuck. But some of the other shit that I wanted to talk about. So yesterday, I was taking a walk, and I just kind of thought to myself, when the fuck is Chucky Season 3 coming out? Because I haven't heard anything. Let me check. Oh shit, it comes out like the first week of October. Oh, that's less than a month away. I'm about to get some Chucky. I'm really fucking happy there's going to be more Chucky. Chicken Run 2 got announced this week. I don't really know what to think of that. Like, I like Chicken Run. I think Clay and I both, when we did our DreamWorks day, we were like, yeah, it's like a B-tier movie. There's a lot of, like, I love the stop motion. Like, to me, that alone is what makes it a B-tier movie. When it comes to the overall writing, I do like it. I think there's parts of it that are genuinely really endearing, really funny. There's some parts that are really interesting. I don't love it overall, but I do like it. But after watching it, I wasn't left thinking like, man, I really want a Chicken Run too. And so I'm kind of surprised that we're getting a Chicken Run too. I shouldn't be that surprised. Like, you know, we're in that era where everything's getting sequels, everything's getting reboots. I was like, I feel like you kind of reached deep into the bag for that one. Also, Mrs. Tweety survived everything that happened, which, I mean, you don't see her die, and I mean, you could probably survive like a wooden door falling on you, but it's a little more satisfying to think that she didn't with the massive piece of shit that she is. So I'm like, I don't know if I like the fact that she unambiguously is fine, but I bet. In terms of other things, I did finish Xenosaga Episode 1. I haven't made a video on it yet. I might do it literally after I'm done with this. Either later today or tomorrow. But I've got my notes on it. I'm ready to talk about it. Short version, I have my problems with it. But overall, I do like it. I definitely feel like its quality is pretty consistent all the way through. Although there are some areas where I feel like the game definitely has its issues. But overall, like, I would say it's pretty consistent. It's good. I was gonna start playing Episode 2. I was really excited to play Episode 2. And then I was hanging out with a buddy of mine who was playing Persona 4. And the other buddy that we were hanging out with was like, fuck, it's giving me the Persona itch. So I'm playing Persona 5 Royal. I'm like, you know, I've got my own Persona itch, you know? What fuck was the Dave Chappelle? I was like, you guys got any crack? I'm like, you guys got any pixies? Got any hee-hoes? But, I was like, fuck, I want to play Persona now. Strikers is on my list. I've had it for like at least a year or two now because I got it on PlayStation Plus. So like I'm gonna go and play Strikers. Let's boot it up. Let's play it. And the early first impression was like, man, it's nice to be back. I love Persona 5. Like, I love the look of the game. I love the soundtrack. I love the Phantom Thieves. Like, this feels right. This feels nice. I'm about 5 hours in. I think I'm close to finishing the first jail. Like, we knocked out the power sources and shit. So, hopefully, in only a few hours, I'll be done with this first arc. I think I'm gonna drop the game after I'm done with the first arc. Because the more I play it, the more I'm like, okay, like, this is Persona 5 without social links. Confidants, but you know what I mean. Without time management. Without social stats. Without turn-based combat. You're like, huh, so... You mean all the things that make playing a Persona game, and the things that are giving me that Persona itch, none of it is here. Okay, but I mean, how's like the story so far? You know, the story seems fine. Like I like the cast and everything, but at the same time, I'm also like, Persona 5, both vanilla and royal, have very satisfying endings where I'm like, I really don't need the second one because we're good. How's combat? It's fine. It feels really empty to me. Like there's shit you can do, and it's like, all right, the more you use a character, when they level up, you know, they get more skills, but they also get extra like actual attacks they can use instead of just their persona skills. Like, oh, okay, but it's really flashy, but it lacks like a weight to it. Like I honestly don't know if I'm having fun. So I kind of gotten to the point where like, I'm gonna finish the first arc and evaluate where I am, but the more I'm playing it, it's like, okay, I want to at least finish this first arc, but I think I'll be done after that. Now, maybe if, like, fighting the boss, I'm like, fuck, that was incredibly fun. Maybe we keep going. I'm like, man, this story seems like it's going to get really interesting. I gotta keep going. I think Sophia's fucking adorable. I love that shit. I love her design. I love how she has braids and there's just, like, hearts embedded into the braids. Like, I'm humanity's companion. I'm like, yes, you are. You are precious. But, I don't think I'm gonna keep playing it after I finish Alice, which would mean I'm gonna start Xenosaga 2 and then very quickly go like, cool, this is fun, now Pokemon DLC, cool, that was fun for 3 days, because it's Pokemon, I'm gonna play the shit out of it. Then I will go back to, then I'll go back to Xenosaga. So, over the past couple weeks or so, Jose and I have been watching My Adventures with Superman, and we finished it yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, I don't remember exactly, but earlier this week we finished watching it. Again, I don't know if I'm going to actually do a video on it. I kind of want to, just to talk about what I think of Superman, not just in this show, but kind of like my general opinion on the character of Clark Kent, of Superman, and how that's changed over time. I feel like I want to talk about that more than I want to talk about the show itself. I like it. I like it quite a bit. When season 2 comes out, I'll give it a watch. But I wasn't like, man, this is amazing. I was like, this is good. This is fun. I enjoy this. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I have to say about that for now. I guess just, in terms of other progress on shit, finally finished those fucking CCATS tier list videos. They are now out. I'm really happy that we finally got it done. My Symphogear video is done. I uploaded it. I specifically set it so it's going to upload on the 13th, because I said, like, that's Hibiki's birthday. I might as well do it then. That's ready to go. Need to get back to working on the VN script. I just kind of haven't the last few days, but need to make sure I get back into that. I really didn't read Mistborn like almost all last week. And part of me was like, okay, am I not reading it because I'm just not getting into it? Or is it because I was really busy last week? I was like, cool, I want to make sure I get like this Symphogear video done. So I want to make sure I get all like my notes and thoughts together. I'm almost done with Xenosaga. I'm almost done reading this, like writing this chapter of my manuscript. I'm almost done like editing this chapter of the VN script. There was a lot of shit I was doing that I was really close to finishing. So to me, it made sense to emphasize those things over reading. And so I'm like, was it that or was it that? I think it was honestly both. I read like 30 pages a couple days ago and I was liking it. I'm still not full, like I'm on page like 205, something like that. It just hasn't quite grabbed me yet. But I'll probably try reading some more today or tomorrow. Like I'm not at a point yet where I'm like, I just want to drop it. But if there's like 2 weeks go by and I'm like, I've barely read it, then it might be time for me to say, all right, let me go ahead and read something else. And if I come back to this, I come back to this. And if not, if I just get to a point where I'm like, I don't care, then I will just look up and see what happens. I don't want to have to do that, but if it happens, it happens. What the fuck does that even say? Oh, I my handwriting is so bad half the time I can't fucking read it. I started the second core from Witch from Mercury. I literally like just finished recording me talking about the first 3 episodes and the first episode of JJNW'S because that started. A short version. Took me a little while to get my like feet wet back into the show, but I'm enjoying what I've seen of it so far. I just talked about Mistborn. I just talked about Persona. So I guess there's only like 2 things I want to talk about. Number 1 is Toy Story. Because I read a thing recently about how like Toy Story 5 is something that's in production, which I think was talked about a while ago. And now there's a report that Andy will be coming back in Toy Story 5. The general consensus that I have seen is Toy Story 3 is a perfect ending. Toy Story 4 is tolerable, but people don't seem to like really love it. They're like, yeah, 4 was a perfect ending. Why would you do this? And no one is excited for a Toy Story 5. It just seems like 4 was made for money because you could. 5 is also made for money because you can. And why is this a thing? My stance is this. I think Toy Story 3 is a perfect ending, but it's not a perfect ending for Woody. In Toy Story 1, when Woody is getting super jealous of Buzz because he feels like he's getting replaced because he's no longer Andy's favorite toy, he makes an impulsive decision. He's like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up some shit so I can knock Buzz off the shelf. He'll fall to the ground, and Andy won't be able to find him, and then I'll get to go to Pizza Planet with him. And hey, if Buzz is stuck down there for a while, then Andy can't play with him, Andy can play with me. Yeah. Like, his plan was never to actually knock Buzz out the window. That's important. But he made a really impulsive decision based on his emotions at the time, like, I'm going to go take care of my problem. In Toy Story 2, after talking to Stinky Pete the Prospector and learning more about Jesse's history, and Bullseye is also there, Woody decided, you know what? I won't break up the Roundup gang. I won't have a whole lot of time left with Andy anyways, probably. And hearing what happened to Jesse, I really don't want that to happen to me. And if these guys need me, these guys need me. I will do this. Woody would have hated it if he went to Japan and was turned into like a museum piece for kids. Seeing kids all the time and not being able to play with them would have broken his fucking heart. But in his state of mind, he made an impulsive choice. In Toy Story 3, after everything that he went through with his friends in Sunnyside and then at the dump. He had a choice between I could stay with Andy or I can stay with my friends. And Woody did what Woody gon' do, and he made an impulsive choice. He said, I am choosing them over him. And as Toy Story 4 showed, and I don't think it's bullshit, it was just there for like merchandise or anything. It's like, no, this to me feels, this is exactly how Woody would look at this. I fucked up and I made the wrong choice. Now I love my friends. They mean the world to me. They really, really do. But Andy is the fucking universe to me. Like, the fact that I could still be with my kid and knowing that I'm not, it hurts. He's like, it feels like his relationship with Bonnie, like, it's not even like you feel like he's trying to recapture. Like, it feels like a parent, like their oldest kid went to high school and now they're trying to have another kid and like reclaim that magic. And it's really sad. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. How he feels in Toy Story 4 and that he regrets the decision at the end of 3. It's a perfect ending for Buzz and the gang, which is kind of why they don't really have much to do in Toy Story 3. It's like in Toy Story 4, it's like they're solid. Andy giving up his toys and moving on feels like a good ending for Andy, but even Andy didn't want to get rid of Woody. Just that moment where he sees Woody and then he hesitates, is like, I can't do this. But I'm not gonna like do anything with my toy, and I want my toy to like give joy. Okay. Like, it is a really good ending for him too, but it makes a lot of sense to me that it's not right for Woody. So after I watched Toy Story 4, I went, okay, I get it. Toy Story 5 is Woody going to find Andy and being reunited with his kid. And possibly by that point, because in 3, Andy was going off to college, Andy will have his own family, he'll have his own kid, and Woody will essentially be the toy for Andy's kids. That is the perfect ending for Woody. And I think that's what we're going to get. I have no idea what Buzz will be doing in this movie. There's a part of me that's like, is Buzz even going to be in this movie? Like, he was kind of barely in the last one. I'm like, you can't make a Toy Story movie without Buzz fucking Lightyear. But I mean, in a sense, they made a Toy Story movie without Woody because Lightyear exists, but I'd rather believe that Lightyear doesn't exist. Oh, that actually reminds me of something. So the other day, Clay was just like watching clips from Toy Story because, one of the best movies of all time. And there's that whole scene, like when they're under the car, when Buzz is saying, essentially he's like, Zurg built the fucking Death Star. I have the plans to the Death Star and I have the one weakness. And you, my friend, are responsible for delaying my rendezvous with Star Command. Like, the entire universe is in jeopardy and it's your fault. Do you remember that? And that's what Buzz's thing is. Now, do you remember how Lightyear is the movie Andy watched that inspired the toy and his love for the toy? Which it's not. That's what fucking Buzz Lightyear from Star Command is. Like, let's be fucking honest for a second. But if that's the movie in universe that inspired the toy, why is that not at all the plot of the movie? Why is that not at all about, like, Zurg has this super weapon? I mean, I guess you could argue he does because of his time travel bullshit, but there's nothing with Buzz saying, like, I've got the plans to it. I have to go to Star Command and do it. Like, it is the bottom of the fucking barrel to me. I do not like Lightyear. It looks and it feels soulless and wrong, and I hate it so much. I was so bored and uninvested watching a movie about Buzz Lightyear. It's awful. But anyways, to my point, I don't know what the fuck Buzz is going to be doing in this movie. I don't know if Bonnie is going to be living, like, right next to Andy. It's like, hey, look, what a coinky dink. Or, I don't know. Or if it'll just be like, here's Woody's story, and then it'll just, like, cut to Buzz and, like, what the other toys are doing, which feels weird to have Woody and Buzz in a movie together, but not actually together. Like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So I don't know. Toy Story 5 might just be the Woody movie, which excites me because I love Toy Story and I love Woody. But without Buzz is wrong. But I'm looking forward to getting Woody's actual good ending. And speaking of movies that I'm looking forward to, and I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen, and that's gonna rip my soul asunder, is there was an announcement that the new Madoka Magica movie is finally gonna be getting some new information. It's gonna be happening on Sunday, so I'm gonna be at work, so I'm gonna be busy, and also while I'm at work and I'm doing shit, I'm gonna constantly just be looking at my phone anyways to be like, okay, what's the Saints score? It's like, what's the score of the other games? I was like, all right, are the Saints winning? Are we fucking this up? Okay, now back to work. But real quick, like, I know I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to be able to watch the game, but I can at least, like, refresh shit. But probably when I take my lunch break and be like, all right, please, is there information on this fucking Madoka Magica movie? I am so excited and terrified at the same time to know what the fuck is gonna happen. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about that specifically. I mean, I'm sure I probably said several times on this channel, it's my favorite anime. It's like my favorite work of fiction. I love it. Rebellion is an experience, but I love it. So it being like, this is the sequel to that, this is the continuation, possibly the grand finale, which is what I thought Rebellion was gonna be, but it wasn't. There's that part of me that goes, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up. But also the part of me that goes, I trust them. I trust them enough to know they're not going to. Which, again, it's very similar to Toy Story. Going into Toy Story 3, I was like, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up. Oh, it's amazing. With 4, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up. Oh, I am, like, leaking from my eyes. I'm expecting Madoka Magica 4 to be phenomenal. I'm expecting Toy Story 5 to be phenomenal. Yeah, I think that's a